The journey into sleep, the journey to Windsor, come to Bedtime Tales, a place where stories are told to gently guide you into a journey of relaxation and restful sleep. Here, every word is like a soft breeze, like a calm stream, helping your mind unwind after a long day. Close your eyes now. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it out, softly, like a sigh that carries away the weight of the day. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a quiet road. The night is calm, the air cool, and the world has slowed its pace, as if waiting for you to take the very first step toward a place of dreams. Far in the distance, a shape begins to rise, silent and majestic. It is Windsor Castle. You may have heard the name before in books, in stories, and passing mentions of kings and queens. But tonight, here, in this gentle space between wakefulness and sleep, Windsor is not just a castle. It is a companion, a guardian of time, a keeper of secrets that only reveal themselves when the night is still enough and when the heart is ready to listen. As you begin to walk, the stones beneath your feet make a steady rhythm, soft and measured. Each step carries you further from the noise of the day and closer to the calm of another world. The air carries a faint scent of grass, of damp earth, of the quiet English countryside. Above, the clouds drift slowly, like pillows of silver against a pale, glowing moon. That moonlight spills across the towers and walls of the castle, wrapping the old stones in a cloak of silver light. Windsor does not simply stand in the distance. It seems to breathe, to watch, to wait for your arrival. You notice how the world around you grows quieter still. The sound of your footsteps echoes gently like a heartbeat. The wind whispers through the grass, brushing your skin with its cool fingers. Time feels slower here, as though the very air is urging you to linger, to let go, to listen. There is something enchanting about old castles. They are not just buildings of stone and wood. They are memory made solid, stories captured. In walls and corridors, each stone, each doorway, each stair has been touched by countless lives, countless moments. And as you draw nearer to Windsor, you feel almost without knowing how, that a story is waiting for you inside. Not a frightening story, but a soft one, a gentle one, perhaps even a little mysterious. Tonight, you will be the listener. The gates rise before you, tall and strong, carved from ancient oak. Your hand rests on the wood, and you feel the grain beneath your fingers, the ridges and grooves like veins of time itself. How many hands have touched this very door? How many lives have passed through, carrying with them joy, sorrow, love, and loss? Tonight the gate opens for you. With the creak of hinges, a whisper of air greets you, cool, rich with the scent of old wood and cool stone. It is the scent of history itself, carrying with it echoes of laughter and of whispers, of music once played, of footsteps long faded. You step across the threshold, and suddenly you are inside. The hall before you is vast, but not empty. The air feels alive, as though the walls themselves are listening. Candlelight flickers somewhere in the distance, casting soft golden pools on the stone floor. Shadows stretch and sway gently, like dancers moving to a song that only they can. Here it is quiet, yet not silent. The stillness is filled with something invisible, a presence, a hum, as though time itself has slowed to wrap you in its arms. You hear the faint chime of a clock. 1, 2, each strike falling like a pebble into a deep, still pond, rippling through your thoughts, slowing your mind. Here in Windsor Castle, the night feels endless. It stretches softly, inviting you deeper, not to rush, not to seek, but simply to wander. They say that when the castle sleeps, it does not sleep alone. There are whispers of figures that move in the quiet, shadows of people long gone who still walk these halls, not with malice, not with fear, but with gentle familiarity, as if they never left. And tonight, as you begin this journey, you too may sense them not as ghosts, not as apparitions, but as memories brushing against the present. Your footsteps slow. Your body feels lighter. The world outside fades away until there is only you, the castle, and the story it wants to share. So breathe slowly, deeply. Let the words settle around you like a blanket. Let the castle open its gates not just to your imagination, but to your heart. For Windsor has kept a secret through the centuries, and tonight, in the quiet safety of the night, that secret begins to unfold. The journey has only just begun. You are inside now. The door behind you is closed with a sigh, gentle and quiet, and suddenly the outside world feels far away, as though it belongs to another lifetime. Within these walls, time does not move as it does beyond. Here it stretches, it lingers, it folds upon itself like layers of silk. Each breath you take is a breath shared with centuries. Each sound that touches your ear carries a trace of the past. Windsor Castle is more than 900 years old. Imagine that number. Imagine how many nights have passed, how many mornings have dawned, how many seasons have swept their way. Across these stones, winter winds, spring blossoms, summer rains, autumn leaves, all have kissed these walls, again and again, through uncounted years. And yet the castle still stands, watching silently, guarding gently. As you walk further, you sense the weight of time, but it does not press down on you. It flows around you like a river that is slow and calm, carrying with it countless fragments of stories. You do not need to know them all. You only need to let them drift by, like leaves on the water, floating past in a rhythm so gentle it lulls you deeper into stillness. There were kings here, long ago.
Right.
Queens, too, and knights who wore armor that gleamed under torchlight. Dined in these halls, they laughed, they argued, they dreamed. And though their voices are gone, it feels as though the walls themselves remember. Sometimes, in the stillness, you might hear a faint echo, the soft clinking of a goblet raised in toast. The distant rustle of silk gowns brushing across stone floors. The muted thud of boots belonging to men who have long since vanished into history. Listen closely. Can you hear it? The echoes are not loud, not startling. Their whispers soft and delicate, like memories that rise just before sleep. They do not disturb you. They soothe you, reminding you that life moves on, but nothing ever truly disappears. The floor beneath you is worn smooth, polished not by hands but by the countless steps of those who came before. Each footprint has left a trace, invisible, but present, layering itself into the spirit of the castle. Your own steps join theirs now, another thread woven into the endless tapestry. You pass a tall window, and the moonlight streams in. It pools on the floor like silver water gliding across the stones, as if it too has wandered these halls for centuries. The light does not rush, does not flicker. It simply rests, calm and eternal, a companion for the night. It is said that history does not vanish in places like Windsor. It lingers, it clings, it becomes part of the air. Perhaps that is why, when you breathe in now, you feel a deep quiet settling into your chest. You are not just breathing air. You are breathing centuries. You are breathing stories. You are breathing time itself. Imagine the castle during a storm. Rain lashing against the windows, winds howling through the towers, lightning painting the sky in white and blue. Centuries ago, people within these walls must have gathered close, listening to the storm with beating hearts, feeling both safe and vulnerable. Imagine them by the fire, hands clasped, voices hushed, the storm outside like a wild symphony, the walls protecting them, strong and enduring. And now, imagine the castle in summer. The windows thrown wide, warm breezes drifting in, the scent of roses from the gardens below, rising into the air. Laughter ringing out across the courtyards. Children playing, footsteps chasing each other. Down long stone corridors. For every storm, there has also been sunshine. For every sorrow, there has also been joy. The castle has seen it all. And somehow, all of it remains here, woven into its silence. As you wander deeper, you notice portraits on the walls, faces of people you do not know, painted long ago. Their eyes seem to follow you, but not in a way that unsettles. Their gaze is gentle, curious, almost protective. They too are part of this long river of time, and now you are drifting along beside them. Sometimes, in Windsor, they say the past rises up to meet the present. Not in sharp bursts, not in frightening ways, but softly, like a dream blending into reality. Perhaps a faint sound of horses' hooves in the courtyard, though no horses remain. Perhaps the scent of wood smoke, though the fire has long since died. Perhaps the echo of a voice carried by no one at all. Do not be afraid. These are not ghosts in the way the world imagines them. They are memories, shadows of time, folded into the air like threads in a blanket. They are here, not to trouble you, but to remind you that you are never alone. Time is vast, and you are part of it. You pause for a moment in the middle of a corridor. The silence is deep, but it is not empty. It is rich, layered, alive. Close your eyes, just for a moment, and listen. The castle hums with a low, steady rhythm, the rhythm of centuries moving slowly. It is like a lullaby sung by stone and shadow. A lullaby that tells you, rest now, be calm, be safe. When you open your eyes again, you feel lighter, as though you have shed something you no longer needed. The world outside Windsor no longer matters. Only this moment, this journey, this gentle unfolding of time, and still ahead, there is more. For Windsor is not only a place of memories, it is also a place of mystery. And soon, as you follow the path deeper into its heart, you will hear one of its most whispered stories. A tale carried gently through the centuries, waiting for you now. The night is not over. The journey continues. The corridors of Windsor stretch long and silent, like rivers of stone leading you deeper into the heart of the castle. The air is still, but within that stillness lies a story, one that has drifted through centuries. Whispered from one generation to the next, a story not of fear, but of presence. It is said that among the many kings who called this castle their home, one never truly left. King Charles I, who lived in an age of turmoil and change, is remembered not only in books of history, but also in the quiet hours of the night. Some say his spirit remains here, walking softly through the rooms, in passageways not as a restless ghost, but as a guardian, watching over the place that once sheltered him. Imagine it now. The moonlight spills across the floor, painting a pale path ahead of you. You follow it slowly, each step gentle, your breath calm. In the distance, just at the edge of sight, a shadow seems to move. Not quickly, not sharply, but lightly, as though carried on a breeze. A figure in a long cloak, head bowed, footsteps barely touching the ground. The figure does not startle you. It does not bring fear. It simply moves, like a memory made visible, gliding past a window, then fading once more into silence. Some say it is the king himself, dressed in the garments of his time, still walking through the halls he once knew so well. If you listen closely, you may even hear the faintest sound, not the echo of heavy boots, but the whisper of fabric brushing against stone, the soft sigh of a presence too light to disturb the air. It is not loud enough to wake you, only soft enough to carry you deeper into calm, deeper into dream. The story goes that Charles was a man bound deeply to this place, and though his life ended in sorrow, his spirit did not leave in anger. Instead, he remained, quietly pacing the halls, a gentle reminder of the bond between soul and stone. To those who believe, his presence is not a warning, but a comfort proof that Windsor, through centuries of change, still holds those who loved it close. Picture yourself following the corridor, your fingertips brushing along the cool stone wall. Every so often, a flicker of candlelight seems to waver, though no candle burns. A cool breeze seems to pass your cheek, though no window is open. These are not tricks, not deceptions. They are the castle breathing its stories into your mind, reminding you of all it has held, all it has witnessed. And if you pause at the great staircase, you may sense him most clearly. The king, descending slowly, hand resting upon the carved rail, his gaze lowered, his steps unhurried. He does not look toward you, and yet somehow you feel seen, not watched, but acknowledged, as if your presence in this night is welcomed. The tales say that guards have glimpsed him, that visitors have felt his nearness, but no tale speaks of fear. Always, the presence is quiet, always soft, always fleeting, like a dream half remembered upon waking. What is it about this story that lingers in the heart? Perhaps it is because it reminds us that even when lives end, the essence of love and memory remain. Charles belonged to Windsor, and Windsor belonged to him, and so they are never apart. As you stand in the great hall, the silence thick but gentle, you realize that the presence is not outside you. It is within you. The castle, the king, the centuries. All of it is woven into the same thread of time, and you are part of that tapestry now. The figure fades into shadow once more, leaving only stillness behind. Yet somehow that stillness feels fuller now, richer, like a cup that has been filled with quiet understanding. The story has touched you, not with fear, but with calm. You feel your breath deepen, your body loosen, as though even your bones are resting into the rhythm of the castle's lullaby. Outside, the moon drifts higher, its light slanting through narrow windows, painting the floor in shifting patterns. The castle does not move quickly. It does not rush. It simply waits, breathing, humming, carrying the memory of Charles like a gentle song. Perhaps when you close your eyes, you will see him again, not as a shadow, not as a ghost, but as a symbol of something enduring. The presence of the past, the persistence of memory, the comfort of continuity. You begin to walk again, each step lighter now, guided by the silver light. The story of the king has settled into you, and it feels as though you, too, have become part of Windsor's memory. And still, the journey is not over. Beyond the corridors, beyond the silent halls, lies another world within Windsor, a world of gardens and moonlit air, where nature and stone meet in quiet harmony. There another chapter waits for you, but for now, you carry the story with you, soft and steady as the castle whispers. Rest, breathe, drift. The night deepens, the presence fades, and you move on. Into the garden of dreams. The corridor narrows, then opens again. You follow its quiet curve, and soon a door appears. Tall, arched, lined with ironwork that gleams in the silver light. When you push it open, a breath of night air greets you, cool and gentle, carrying with it the fragrance of grass and roses. And suddenly, the castle's stone walls give way to something wider, something softer. You have stepped into the gardens. The night sky stretches above you, deep and calm, a velvet expanse dotted with stars. The moon hangs high, casting its light across the lawns, the trees, the still fountains. Every leaf seems touched with silver, every flower rimmed with pale light. The air is quiet, yet alive, filled with the subtle hum of crickets, the rustle of branches swaying gently in the breeze. You walk slowly across the path, lined with stones smoothed by centuries of footsteps. To your right, a row of roses leans gracefully toward the moon. Their petals are closed for the night, yet their fragrance lingers, sweet and steady, mingling with the scent of damp earth. To your left, tall oaks stand like guardians, their branches arching overhead, whispering softly to each other in the language of leaves. The castle towers rise behind you, dark silhouettes against the glowing sky. They seem less imposing now, softened by the distance, softened by the night. Here in the gardens, the air feels lighter, freer, yet still connected to the timelessness of Windsor. The memory of the king, the whisper of his presence, fades into the larger hum of nature. As if even he has stepped aside to let the garden speak. You pause beside a fountain. The water glimmers under the moon, flowing so quietly that it sounds more like a sigh than a stream. The ripples catch the light, sending tiny shivers of silver outward, circling and circling, never rushing, never ending. You lean closer, and in the reflection, you see not only the moon above, but also the gentle outline of the castle behind. It feels as if two worlds have joined here, the world of stone and memory, and the world of earth and sky. Further along the path leads you into a grove of trees. The ground here is softer, covered with fallen leaves that hush your footsteps. An owl calls in the distance, low and steady, its voice a reminder that you are not alone, though no one walks beside you. Every sound belongs to the night. Every sound belongs to the dream. The air cools as you approach the edge of the garden. Beyond, the Thames lies like a ribbon of glass, reflecting the stars, carrying their light gently across its surface. The river moves slowly, almost lazily, as though it too has been lulled by the castle's ancient rhythm. You watch as the water drifts by, its motion steady, timeless, unhurried. Imagine all the nights this river has flowed past Windsor. All the centuries it has mirrored the same moon, the same stars. Imagine the countless people who have stood here, gazing into its surface, lost in thought, carried away by its calm. Tonight, you join them. Tonight, your reflection mingles with theirs, another soul resting in the embrace of water and sky. The breeze stirs again, brushing against your skin, cool but gentle, like the touch of a hand reminding you to let go. The roses sigh, the trees murmur, the river hums. Nature's lullaby surrounds you, wrapping you in layers of sound so soft they feel almost like silence. As you walk back toward the castle's shadow, you notice how the gardens shift in light. One moment, a statue gleams as though alive. Next, it disappears into shade. One moment, a pathway shines like silver. The next, it darkens, as if inviting you to rest. The garden is not still, but its movements are slow, dreamlike. Like the breathing of someone deep in sleep. You sit for a moment on a stone bench. The surface is cool, grounding, firm beneath you. From here, the castle rises again into your view, its towers touched with moonlight, its windows dark and quiet. You realize that the mystery of the king, the whispers of the past, the weight of centuries, all of it now feels softened by the presence of the garden, as if nature itself has taken the story, cradled it, and turned it into a lullaby. Your eyes begin to grow heavier. The rhythm of the river, the sigh of the fountain, the whisper of leaves, they weave together, slow and steady, till it feels as if the entire world has become a cradle, rocking you gently toward rest. You think of the king one last time, not as a shadow, not as a ghost, but as a traveler like yourself, lingering in a place that has given him peace. Perhaps he too has walked this garden under the moon. Perhaps he, too, has paused by the river, listening to its song. And perhaps his spirit remains because, like you, he found here not fear, but comfort. The garden stretches wide, the castle stands watch, and the night holds you safely in its arms. Soon you will return inside. Soon the story will close around you, soft and slow. But for now, you linger in the garden, breathing in its calm, breathing in its silence, breathing in its promise of sleep, and still one final chapter waits. For Windsor, timeless as it is, has a way of offering endings that are not endings at all, but beginnings disguised as dreams. The journey is almost done. The night is almost full. And soon, the castle itself will tuck you into slumber. The garden rests behind you now, its whispers fading into the night. You return slowly through the arched doorway, leaving the cool breath of roses and river, stepping once more into the quiet embrace of the castle. The air inside feels warmer, softer, as if the stones themselves remember your journey and are ready to hold you in stillness. The hall stretches wide before you, but it no longer feels vast or unknown. It feels familiar, like a room you have always known, even if you have never walked here before. The shadows that once seemed endless now fold themselves gently into corners, cradling you with their calm. The silence does not weigh heavy. It hums softly. Like a low song beneath the surface of the world, you move slowly, as though your body has grown lighter, as though each step is less about walking and more about floating. You feel the echo of the river still flowing through you, the memory of the roses still blooming in your breath, the murmur of the trees still brushing against your thoughts. You are no longer separate from the castle or its garden. You are part of them now, part of Windsor's dream. The path leads you back to the great hall, where the moonlight filters in through tall windows, painting long ribbons of silver across the floor. You pause and let your gaze follow those ribbons, watching how they ripple across the stones, soft and unhurried. The moon itself seems to bend down, peering through the glass, as though it, too, wishes to rest here within the castle walls. Somewhere faintly, you imagine you hear it again, the quiet echo of steps that are not your own. The king, perhaps, still wandering gently, still pacing as he always has, but his presence no longer feels distant. It feels woven into the same fabric that holds you now. His story, your story, the story of Windsor, they are all part of the same thread, braided together in the hush of the night. You find a chair by the fire. Though no flames burn there now, you imagine the warmth, the glow, the crackle of wood. The castle, in its silence, offers you its own warmth. Not heat, but comfort. The kind that comes from being held in safety, from knowing that here, nothing will disturb you. You close your eyes. Just for a moment, and in the darkness behind your eyelids, you see the images drift by, slow and soft. The garden under the moon. The king's shadow passing through a corridor. The silver river flowing past the walls. The laughter of centuries gone, the echoes of voices that still hum like lullabies within the stone. They move like clouds reshaping, dissolving, reforming, never sharp, never loud, always gentle, always calm. The castle itself seems to breathe around you. The walls, the towers, the windows, the stairs, all of it breathing in a slow rhythm, the rhythm of time, the rhythm of sleep. You let yourself match that rhythm, your breath falling into place, steady and smooth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. It is here, in this rhythm, that the castle sings its lullaby. Not with words, not with music, but with silence that hums, with shadows that rest, with moonlight that strokes the stones like a mother smoothing the sheets of a child's bed. Windsor is not just a place tonight. It is a cradle, a guardian, a story that holds you close and promises you peace. You realize now that endings do not truly exist in Windsor. The king did not end when his life ended. The river does not end. As it flows past, the castle does not end, though centuries have turned like pages in a book, and you too will not end as sleep takes you. You will simply drift from one state to another, carried on the same gentle current that has carried all things here across time. The chime of a clock rings out, faint and slow. 1, 2. Each note falling like a pebble into the still pond. Of night, the ripples spread through you, through the hall, through the very air. But instead of stirring you, they settle you deeper. Each chime is a signal, telling your body it is safe, telling your mind it may rest, telling your spirit it is already halfway to dreaming. You lean back, letting the chair hold your weight, letting the castle hold your soul. The mystery of Windsor is no longer something outside you. It is within you now, a soft hum that will stay long after this night. The king's shadow, the garden's whisper, the river's song, all are yours. And all are gentle. The moon drifts higher, the night deepens, and the world becomes softer, quieter, slower. Your breath matches the silence, and your heart beats like a drum wrapped in velvet. Windsor has told you its story. Windsor has sung you its lullaby. And now, Windsor tucks you in. So let go. Let your eyes close. Let your thoughts float away. As lightly as leaves on the Thames, as softly as petals on the wind, let the castle cradle you. Let the night surround you. Let the story carry you beyond words, beyond waking, beyond time. If you feel comforted and wish to continue this gentle journey with more warm bedtime stories, please subscribe to the Bedtime Tales channel and turn on the notification bell. Each night we will meet again in a new journey where soothing words will guide you into deep sleep and beautiful dreams. Wishing you a peaceful night, restful sleep, and see you again in the next story on Bedtime Tales. Sleep now. Sleep.